So the Dallas Cowboys barely squeaked out a win against the New York Giants, beating them 20-15. And watching the Cowboys, the past few weeks, seeing their performances, this is a completely different team from last year. Last year in the regular season, they were one of the most dominant offenses in the NFL, one of the most dominant defenses in the NFL, and that is no longer the case. You look at their offensive scoring from last season, first in the NFL. They were dominating, 29.9 points per game. Now, they're not bad on offense necessarily, but they're 10th right now in overall points per game at 24.3. And watching that Cowboys-Giants game, the offense just looks stale overall. I think one of the biggest problems in Dallas on their offense is just how bad their running game has been. I think that, the way they handled their running back room this offseason is coming back to bite them right now. You look at their rushing statistics and sort of where they rank right now. They are 28th in rush yards per play at 3.5. They're 30th in rush yards after contact per attempt. Rico Dowdle is currently 34th in rush yards after contact per attempt. And so when you have this Cowboys offense without a running back who can really create after contact comes, they are struggling in that regard. You look at Tony Pollard, who of course left Dallas. Right now, he is top 10 in rush yards after contact per attempt. So I think Jerry Jones not wanting to pay up anything really at the running back position has really led to this team, dropping off, especially when it comes to the running game. And when you can't run the ball, it makes it that much harder to, get things going in the passing game. One of the quarterback's best friends is having a running game that can actually, sort of help you in certain situations. Last year, the Cowboys were 14th in rush yards per game. Currently, they're 30th in rush yards per game. So that is one of the Cowboys' biggest weaknesses so far. And so far this season, when you look at this Cowboys offense, they were 6th in yards per play last year. They're currently 16th in yards per play. They were 2nd in EPA per play last year, and they're currently 17th in EPA per play. And I think there's a lot of reasons for this. Honestly, Dak Prescott, he's been pretty good. I feel like it's the things going on around him that is sort of holding him back this season from being, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. If you look currently at the Cowboys receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb, there's not much going on there. And if you look at the Cowboys and their average separation per NFL Pro, and these are just on targets, the Cowboys are 32nd, so dead last in the NFL in average separation percentage. And so I think part of that is a receiver depth problem. I also think part of that could be a play calling problem. You look at some of the most potent offenses in the NFL, like the Green Bay Packers with Matt LaFleur, like the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan. They are so good at scheming open their wide receivers, and I think that if, let's say, Matt LaFleur was calling plays for the Cowboys, you would see this Cowboys offense play at a much higher level, even though they may not have the talent outside of CeeDee Lamb like some of these other rosters. So I do think part of it is a play calling problem. And for one example here, there was a sequence last night. It was noted by Warren Sharp on Twitter. He said, on this series that started 1st and 19, did Mike McCarthy really go? 1st and 19, a run with CeeDee Lamb as running back for -1 yard. 2nd and 20, a run with Zeke as running back. 3rd and 12, pass to fullback Lukey. And then 4th and 9, punt. So I think that what Mike McCarthy is doing right now in offense is play calling. When you don't have a running back or any kind of running back that can get yards after contact and break away and make guys miss all the time, it makes it that much harder when you're not doing a lot of motion, doing things like that to sort of scheme guys open and make it easier for your offense. Before this game, the Cowboys were 26th in motion rate. Not sure what it is after the game. Didn't seem like they were doing too much of it. And so I do question Mike McCarthy and his play calling right now in this Cowboys offense. It's led to Dak Prescott having the 14th best passer rating in the NFL, 13th in completion percentage over expected, 18th in EPA per drop back. And I think that Dak, he's played pretty good. He played really well against the Giants, 22 of 27, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But outside of CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson had 7 receptions for 49 yards. Jalen Tolbert, 3 receptions for 24 yards. I think that the Cowboys need to add some more weapons at wide receiver, and I think that the play calling is holding this Cowboys offense back currently. And then I think that the biggest problem right now with the Cowboys overall is their defense. Now, they played somewhat well against the Giants, especially against the run, which had been their weak area earlier in the season. the Giants only ran the ball at 1.1 yards per carry on 24 carries. And so luckily for the Cowboys defense, they were able to shut down the New York Giants and hold them to 5 different field goals in this game. And Daniel Jones had an okay day outside of his deep balls. He went 29 of 40 for 281 yards, but he was missing guys down the field. And so now, while it's good that your defense stopped the running attack of the New York Giants, this is one of the worst offenses in the NFL, led by one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. So it's not like I think you get that much hope going forward for what this Cowboys defense can do. And if you look at the state of the Cowboys defense right now, they're 25th in scoring, 22nd in yards per play, 28th in EPA per play allowed. They allow the 6th most rush yards per game. And that's where last season they were 5th best scoring defense in the league, 9th in yards per play, 4th in EPA per play allowed. And last year, their average against the run, 16th in rush yards allowed per game. So this Cowboys defense has not really been doing anything well. And so I think you look to last year, the turnovers the Cowboys were forcing helped this offense a ton. And when your defense is playing at a high level, it makes it so much easier on the offense, getting you in better field positions, things like that. And I think that's another reason the Cowboys offense is struggling, because this defense has not shown up like they did last year. And if they don't improve, I mean, this isn't a Cowboys team that's going to do much in the playoffs. I mean, even last year when they were one of the best offenses and defenses in the league, they still couldn't, do much in the playoffs. So even though they won, they're 2-2. This Cowboys team just doesn't look very threatening, I think, to top-tier teams in the NFL, at least the way they're operating right now. Now, maybe if they can figure out what's going wrong on offense, I mean, they did enough last night against the Giants, but going forward, they got to figure something else out. The running game is terrible. The play calling's suspect. And so we'll see if the defense can improve and sort of what happens here with the Dallas Cowboys going forward. But if you want more NFL content, feel free to subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss any NFL content, and I'll see you guys next time.